What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another time lapse, and today we are doing 1.32. That is right. Today Origins dropped, and so we're not messing with anything. We're not changing anything, and we're not going past the end date. So we are going to do 1444 to 1821 in 1.32. You just want to give the AI a fresh run in this new update, see how it plays, and let's check it out. Early on, the big thing to notice is the changes in Africa. We've got changes in the West African region and the Ethiopian region. Particularly, they all have new mission trees and everything, and so we're seeing a little bit of expansion early on from Ethiopia. In the rest of the world, I don't know how much things are going to change. I don't know how much things are going to be impacted. Scotland decided to eat Ireland, so that's interesting, and Denmark just took Norway. Mali has been completely dissolved in the West African region, and then in the Eastern African region, it's sort of what we saw before with Ethiopia expanding into those areas. It'll be interesting to see if they form the new formable of Aksum. Morocco appears to be expanding into that West African region, and Songhai is almost completely destroyed. Instead, actually, Sokoto is the dominant power in that area. Actually, never mind. It might actually be Segu, who I believe just knocked the Moroccans back. And as I said that, I take it back. They just got demolished. That Sokoto red is really nice, though. Morocco is now pushing into that region. Ethiopia continues to expand, and Sokoto is now fleeing to the east. Ming is gone. Ming is absolutely gone. Zhengzhou is on its way to forming Qing, so that's something. Oryat is expanding a little bit. Russia has its normal Russian provinces. England is gone. It's just Scotland and France. Actually, I believe that's England and South Africa, and Scotland appears to be colonizing in North America, but that's Spanish Canada, and then, okay, yes, Scotland is colonizing the southern half of North America. The Iberian Peninsula is an absolute mess right now. There is France, there's Leon. How often do we see Leon? That's something. Persia formed, and Morocco is just devouring Africa. That is not something that's that uncommon, to be completely honest. Ottomans just destroyed the Ethiopians, so that played out basically how it normally would play out. Scotland just, you live long enough to see yourself be the hero, or you die the villain, and they just died the villain by forming Great Britain instead of staying Scotland, so that's unfortunate. Can I just point out that the United States is literally, that's relatively close to the United States' historical 1821 border before the Louisiana Purchase. That's actually really cool how that played out. And that brings us to 1821, and I have to say, not much changed. So I don't know if we're gonna have to run this again to see if things play out differently, but we're gonna check out some of the regions and see if anything is different from how it used to play out. Europe is basically what I would expect it to be. France is strong, Great Britain in the islands. Norway still exists, sort of holding off the Russian hordes. The Ottomans were dominant, and Venice formed Italy. That's interesting there. Lusatia being the power in Germany that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. And then Poland just ate into Austria and Hungary. This little province here in Morocco, and then they took Portugal, resulting in Tito and Iberia. I also did not realize that Spain does not exist. That is Tunisian Iberia. And then we have both Galicia and Leon. Taking a look at Africa, Sokoto survived to the end. They sort of fled and are now surrounded by the Moroccans and the Ottomans. Lunda is the powerhouse in the Congo. Kitara is one of the new formables, so we did get to see that new formable, so that's pretty cool. I'm so confused by this. That is England and British South Africa. I'm pretty sure the British are confused about where Mexico is. Honestly, in the Asian and Southeast Pacific region, I don't even know what I'm looking at. This is a border gore mess. NSFW, my goodness, what did they do to China and the islands? And Australia has 7 countries on it. Goodness. Also, can I just point out how much a fan of some of these names I am? Min is just Ming without the G, and Ning is Ming but with an N. The Shun have territory all over the place. without any of it being consolidated. Religious-wise, Catholic Protestantism, they sort of split the regions of Europe and the Americas. Orthodox in Russia, not surprising. Sunni in the Middle East and North Africa, not surprising. Coptic, there's a large amount of Coptic, but they are now controlled by Sunni. Hindu, Theravada, and then, as we move into Asia, that becomes an absolute mess. I will say, though, the fetishist region in Central Africa, that Congo region, that is interesting. Culturally, not a huge surprise. Most of the cultures are where they're supposed to be. We've got English in South Africa, the French in South America, the Castilians in Brazil. Not a huge amount of culture spread. That Tibetan in Asia, actually, that's pretty significant. In these shorter time lapses, there's just a lot less time for the AI to spread culture, and so we don't see quite as much of a change. Taking a look at the economic map mode, we can see that the economic development still lies in Europe, but honestly, there's quite a bit in Africa, in that Lunda region, in the Western Africa region, the Morocco there. And finally, we have the great powers. Coming in first place is the Ottoman Empire, followed closely by France, Great Britain, Myanmar, Russia, Poland, Persia, and Morocco. Now, probably the thing that I'm most disappointed about with this time lapse is none of the new changed African nations are in this. This is honestly a time lapse I would expect to see. I would have liked to see a little bit more kick from Africa, and if you would like to see me run this time lapse again, maybe even run it longer and see if something comes out of those new African regions, see if we can get any sort of a change from those new buff nations with their mission trees and enhancements. Let me know in the comments below, and we can see if we can run this again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are on the path to 1,000. You guys have been hitting that subscribe button all week. Be that number 600, you could be that number 800, you could be that number 1,000, but it starts with everybody hitting that button. Thank you guys so much for checking out this time lapse. Come out with these 2-3 times a week. If you're new here, it's great to have you. I'll see you guys next time. Reath out.